So, what's science really for? Is it about getting famous, making a ton of money? Well, today we're diving into an essay by a scientist, Kailas Borak, who argues it's for something way more profound. And he's got a story to back it up. A story about how pure, simple curiosity once pulled the entire world back from the absolute brink of destruction.
You know, it's this question that scientists get all the time, the one that kind of cynically pokes at the value of their work. Hey, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? But the answer to that really gets to the very heart of what science is all about.
Because, according to the author, the real reward for a scientist, it has absolutely nothing to do with money. It's about a much, much deeper calling.
Wow. What a powerful way to put it, right? For a true scientist, this work isn't just a 9-to-5 job. It's a core part of who they are. It's driven by this deep-seated curiosity that they just can't switch off.
So that's the real paycheck. It's the thrill of figuring something out for the first time, the freedom to just chase an idea, that amazing bond you build with other researchers, and of course, that incredible, almost overwhelming feeling when you finally peel back a layer and see one of nature's secrets. Okay, so let's see how this passion for science got put to the ultimate test during one of the scariest moments in all of human history. The year is 1960. While our author is just quietly studying earthquakes, you know, the tremors of the earth, the world itself is trembling for a totally different reason. The superpowers are staring each other down, loaded with nuclear weapons, and the threat of total annihilation is terrifyingly real. I mean, the situation was so horribly balanced that it even had its own acronym, MAD, Mutually Assured Destruction. It was this state of global paralysis where one wrong move, one tiny mistake, could literally end everything. No exaggeration. So everybody knew they had to ban nuclear tests to cool things down, but the world leaders were completely stuck. There was this one final, critical problem they just couldn't solve by themselves. And that was the big problem, the roadblock. How could you ever trust your enemy? Without a way to be sure, no country was ever going to sign a treaty that the other side could secretly break to get a deadly advantage. And this is where science, of all things, steps in. See, both nuclear bombs and earthquakes create seismic waves, tremors, and our author's very specific, kind of obscure research on these waves, it suddenly became the completely unexpected key to solving this massive global puzzle. So just picture this. Even though their governments were bitter enemies in the Cold War, scientists who were technically on opposite sides were brought into a room together. And their mission? Forget the politics and find an objective truth that could literally save every single one of us. And guess what? They did it. They succeeded. But why? Because science gave them a language they could all speak. It's a language built on proof, right? On hard, verifiable evidence, not on who you trust or what you believe. It let them get around the political mess and do what the politicians couldn't. And this led the author to this really profound conclusion from his experience, that even when things are at their absolute darkest, the rational, collaborative, evidence-based hunt for knowledge, well, that offers us a real path forward. You know, this crazy story from the Cold War, it actually points to a much bigger truth, not just about history, but about the fundamental value of scientific research for all of us. The solution to that whole nuclear test problem didn't come from military research. It came from something called fundamental or basic science. This is the stuff people do just because they're curious, you know, often without any immediate practical goal in mind. And what's so wild is when you look at how many world-changing things we just take for granted. Antibiotics, all our electronics, the microchip, all of it stems from that foundational, hey, I wonder what happens if kind of research. Okay, so the challenges today? Yeah, they've changed since 1960. The nuclear standoff might be gone, but now we're facing this whole new set of complex, urgent threats. And the fundamental question is still the same. Where are the solutions going to come from? So what the essay is really arguing is that our ultimate hope for survival doesn't come from money or politics. Then, just like now, our real hope, our greatest resource, is our collective brain power. And the engine for that is fundamental research. And that's really the big takeaway here. Supporting this kind of basic science isn't some luxury or just a little something for the academics. According to Keelis Barak, it's an absolute necessity. It's not a nice to have, it's a need to have for our future. It's the springboard we have to build today so we can launch the solutions for tomorrow's problems. Which, leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. When we look at the huge challenges on the horizon, are we investing enough in that simple, curiosity-driven research that might, totally unexpectedly, hold the key to our survival?